Hey everyone, RemanX here with a brand new video showcasing the Symbiotes doing what we thought might be possible. I've been waiting to try this out. Thank you to my alliance mates for finally giving me a shot at the Ronan node. But we're going to take a look at the 5 Symbiotes taking a shot at the Ronan node. Now I'm going to tell you right now, part of it was taking them off auto to make sure I had their cooldowns ready to go, have all their ults and specials ready. And there is an element of ruin, and I'm going to talk about that when we get there. Just ways that it can go badly for you if you aren't prepared. So we're going to start it off right away. Now, the first thing I remember is the Ronan node has a lot of things going against you to start. First things first, you have the RNG of who Korath targets. Now, Korath could potentially ability block, wipe the board with anti-venom and really change the way that this works. You can go a little bit slower, but notice all the buffs here are all the abilities there are ready to go. And I clicked on Alliance chat, fat fingered right there. Now the most important thing right there, you're going to see that I actually take this over here. So you're going to rewind some time over here. You don't want to let Ronan get a turn. If Ronan gets a turn, he's going to clear any debuffs you have off him. Also, if Strange goes, he's going to take any of your flips and, well, flip you off. Essentially, taking all of those well-earned buffs from anti-venom and turning them against you for a quick wipe. That turns back time and gives them debuffs. Now, you probably could do a couple different things. I grabbed the stun from that. I probably could have grabbed the immunity, but the counter is going to play really well later on. It's going to help you get through some damage here. Because he's low health, I'm gonna target him just to finish him off to get a speed up on Scream later on and the team, so you'll see that later on. And again, like I said, just dropping the extends over here for those bleeds, just putting the damage in there, trying to make sure we don't lose. Again, this is the first time I tried the fight. There were a couple of tests over here. You're gonna see that actually that went to our favor when it came for the kill, because with the speed up happened to happen just in time to give her the speed up. And then so Magneto drops. Now what happened there was, and it's something that you may have seen in u7.5, it's gonna all the speed up that has to happen will have to empty before you can go to the next turn. However, because we had the speed up there, something you want to make sure you're trying to get those kills in between turns, we're able to do that relatively quickly. So Ronan has not a lot of bleeds, so he'll probably die. But right away, we save the ability block. You'll have the ability block. You'll have the stun. You'll have the... no, I misplayed this. I thought it was enough to kill him with the defense down. It was not. He did 221k with that. So he's still a threat. We got to move him off the table here. So that's something you guys want to make sure you're aware of, is the fact you want to save some of those abilities. You also have the immunity. If for some reason he does get that ability off, and more importantly, if he does blind your team, it isn't instantly over because of the fact that on anti-venom's turn, he'll be able to cleanse a debuff here. So nothing to panic on, nothing to panic about. Keeping the immunity up and the defense up. After we clear that taunt, I should have gone right into Pyro. But again, it's all about control. At one point, I'm just going to put this back on auto because we started getting all the bleeds out there. And so we're just spreading the bleeds around. It really doesn't matter as much because these guys have got a couple of turns loaded in there because of the kills. And just adding those bleeds just buys us more time for later on. And even with that heal block, it's not so bad. So that's sometimes dangerous. Now, you got a couple of choices here. Let's talk about this. So you've got a couple of choices. You can target characters with heal block if you want the death proof, and that is something that you can do really easily. So I had a character with heal block. I should have probably grabbed death proof from him. It didn't matter much. Again, mine are pretty overpowered. So all those buffs are out there. Once you have all these buffs on your characters, you're pretty well stacked for the remainder of the fight. Now, again, because I was measuring the fight a little bit early on, it's important to get a good start. I'll actually put it on auto here. I'm not too worried about it. And then I'll take it off auto when I get to the next Ronan drop, because I want to make sure I have the ability to get into the characters I need to. So put on auto, just try to get some momentum back in our favor here. We have 8 of 5, so we've got another drop coming in a second here. So this next drop is important. You've got the flip from Strange. You've got the taunt and the assist from the noble here, and that's a lot of pain here. So you gotta both make sure you're stacking as many buffs and debuffs as you can. You can't let Strange get that off, and you also want to make sure Ronan isn't sitting there as a target. Now, I'm actually at this point with all those bleeds, I'm actually sure he's not going to dispel those on the turn. So I got to start putting damage in elsewhere. So I put an auto over here. Because I'm actually okay if he summons, because the summons actually allow you to speed this team up. So Ronan, I think even with a couple of the misplays there, like I said, I'm on auto, just trying to speed up time a little bit here. I think even with middling power levels as you go through U7, you should be able to do this fight. Remember, I talked about my ISO recommendations because of what you can do with the dispels. And it's going to come down to a little bit of, and again, I'm still on auto here. It's going to come down to a little bit of planning at the end. Just make sure that I'm killing characters fast enough. If I wanted to, I probably could have shifted basic mode. Their basics do more damage than some of their specials, because their specials are all about doing debuffs and whatnot. So from that perspective, a little bit slow on time, but like I said, you saw me doing those early measurements early on to try to make sure I have momentum. So I think you'll probably, if you guys try this at home, I think you'll probably get very close to timing out if you don't time it out the first time. But then you'll see how smooth and potentially easy it is for you guys to do. So again, if you built up the symbiote team like a lot of the community has, we're trying to help you get through there and actually get through and go through all this. It's the big difference to make sure you can actually have the ability to get that done. So let's give you guys a quick sneak peek. I'm going to show you guys one more time for those of you guys who want to follow in at home. If you guys haven't followed, now this is before I leveled them up. I leveled these guys all up to 78 today just to match my power level. Obviously, there's quite a few red stars in there. Again, even if there's an early targeting, as long as it doesn't target and kill anti-venom, which is always a possibility, but that's a possibility with any team in there, that they could potentially take out a character that's vital for your production. It's just the nature of the beast when you're talking about Korath. He's just such a fast character, and he can quickly run and annihilate one of your team. Now, back to this. I only have 2 strikers, anti-venom and venom, and the rest are skirmisher level 5, and that's because I wanted the extra focus, but more importantly, the ability to start clearing buffs off of characters like Juggernaut. So something we've seen quite a bit from the team as I've showcased them in Arena. Again, they were doing this at level 77. This is before I advanced my level. I recorded that fight. u7.5, a little bit of power from the levels, not as much as you might think, but more importantly, I think it's something that's replicable as you build this team up, and it should be a challenge for you folks as you're trying to find new and unusual ways to use your symbiote team without trying to invest in a character like Ultron, who we were using previously, to try to get him to Striker in G14 if you haven't done it already. So if you already made an investment in this team, just a little bit more will get you a lot more performance. So I am super happy with all of my investments in the team. Now, number one question I get asked is, would I put more red stars in them? Probably not. I don't know. Maybe Scream for DD4. We'll have to see what they do and how they scale and damage when we get to city nodes. Hopefully we'll be able to take a look at that through the channel here. We'll have some eyes on Yags as he tries to do it for the community. And we'll also see, as I'm going to probably bring up 4 symbiotes. I'm trying to limit the number of bio to use early on. We'll have to see if any of these new characters coming out this patch will replace my recommendations for it. So that was it, guys. You too can take your symbiotes through the raid now. Again, I did not auto that node. That node is one of the more difficult ones. I may try to auto it and record it and see if it actually can pull it off without the human interaction. I am a little worried about Magneto and Juggernaut teaming up on that, and Ronan and Doctor Strange teaming up to basically be the anti-symbiotes. That being said, it wouldn't be me if I didn't try some mad science. So I do things so you guys don't have to, but this time I'm hoping I did see things so I can teach you guys how to. Take your symbiotes into Ronan node. Let me know how you guys make out in the comments. Again, if you guys want a more clear interaction about the first turn, it really comes down to setting your stage for when Magneto drops, and the rest is pretty much butter. All right, guys, thanks for tuning in. Love you much. I'll catch you guys on Twitch. You guys know where to follow me. Remember, RemanX Force on Twitter. You guys will get updates on some of the videos and some of the cool events happening. And by the way, we'll talk more about the ugly sweater contest coming to MSF soon. Thanks again.